my first silk sewing project. Hello and welcome to Blossom Sandwich Sews. My name is Yvette and today I'm going to be telling you about my plans for the Precious Fabrics Challenge from Tomcat Stitchery. So before I get into showing you my fabric and telling you about what I'm going to be making, this is my video in the vlog tour, so make sure you've checked out the other vlogs made for this challenge. So yesterday's video was from Sharon Sews, and today, in addition to this video that you're watching right now, there's also a video from Sew Little Time, so make sure to check that out as well. And stay tuned for tomorrow's video from Gemini Stitches. So hopefully by now you're all feeling mega excited to have a little rummage through your stash and pick out those precious fabrics and finally get them sewn up. So I was really inspired to join in with this challenge because I am the co-founder of Stash Hub. So if you haven't heard about Stash Hub, it's a sewing organizer app that you can use to plan your projects, to catalog your stash, and generally get really organized with your sewing. So obviously, because of doing that, I'm a big supporter of people appreciating their stash. Our tagline is fall in love with your stash. So yeah, I think when you buy a fabric, it's so exciting. You're like, I want to sew this up, and then you kind of don't get time when it first comes and it gets put in the stash, and then you sort of lose momentum on it. And then the longer you have a fabric in your stash, it kind of becomes more like mythical somehow. Like the pressure to sew it and do a really good job on it just becomes like even more. So I think there's probably some like really interesting psychology happening here with like fabric purchasing habits and stashing, and like what helps us decide what when a fabric becomes precious. So if anyone is a psychologist that wants to like work with me on figuring out like, you know, the sort of different approaches to sewing stashes, like hit me up. I'm really interested in like diving into this more. So yeah, the challenge is hosted by Whitney from Tomcat Stitchery, and yeah, it's a really straightforward challenge. I'll pop on the rules to join in now, and I'll link you to her intro video if you want the full details. But basically you just have to choose a fabric that is precious to you, and that can be for any reason. So I've heard people talking about fabrics that they have been scared to cut into because they were really expensive, or because they just weren't sure what to make and they really wanted to do justice by the fabric, or maybe it was like gifted by a family member or even inherited. So there's loads of different reasons why a fabric can be precious and therefore scary to sew. So this challenge is the motivation and the solidarity that you need to crack on with that project that you've had in your mind for ages. So speaking of, let me show you my precious fabric that I'm going to be sewing this month. So here it is. It's on my comic board. So this fabric I've had, you can see here on the label, since 2020. So I really want to get it sewn up before its 4th birthday. And when I bought this fabric, I had a project in mind for it, so that wasn't even the problem. And even after like almost 4 years, I still have the same project in mind. That's what I'm gonna make. I just haven't done it, and I think the reason is because this fabric is a silk. Let me unwrap it so you can see it better. But it's really, really beautiful. And I've never sewn with a silk before, and especially 4 years ago, I was really new to sewing. Like I only started dressmaking at like the start of 2020, so I don't know what I was thinking, like investing in this gorgeous silk fabric, but you can see it's got like kind of a shine to it. It's so beautiful, and it's kind of, I think it's called Mountains. Yeah, it's called Mountains. I've just had to check my Stash Hub. So it has got these here, like kind of mountain ranges, and then it's got this sort of turquoisey blue colour in the background as well, and like trees. So it's kind of abstract. It's not like a scene, but it's really, really pretty. I'm planning to make the Gilbert top by Helen's Closet. So if you've watched lots of my previous vlogs, you'll probably know that I am a big fan of Helen's Closet and I love the Gilbert top. I've made loads of them. I'll try and pop them in now. So I've made it as like a shirt dress hack. I've made regular top versions. So yeah, I think it's a tried and true pattern for me. I don't need to twirl it because I know that it fits, and I'm more comfortable like making it because I've made it before, if that makes sense. Like I know the technique. You know, I've done the burrito method before, so I think it's going to be all good. The only thing that I'm really nervous about is doing the buttonholes, because, you know, if a buttonhole goes wrong, it's not the end of the world, you can unpick it, but where this is a silk fabric, I'm worried that it's going to be a bit too fragile to like bash in the buttonholes more than once. So yeah, my machine is pretty good with buttonholes. I rarely have a problem, but it's just, you know, the fear in the sewing community. I feel like buttonholes is one of those things that everyone sort of has to clench their butts and stop breathing for. So yeah, that's the main thing. But with the Gilbert top, there's only like 3 buttons, so you know, it could be worse. So I've got 1.5 meters, which I think should be fine for doing the Gilbert top. Because the print is sort of abstract, I'm not worried about pattern matching it or anything. I know probably some people would, like the purists who pattern match everything. But yeah, I'm gonna not do that and hope for the best. And yeah, so I was wondering why I've never sewn this fabric. So I've had it since December 2020. And I even had it on my Make 9, this Gilbert shirt with this fabric. I believe it was my 2022 Make 9. I think that was the only time I've actually done a Make 9 and it went terribly. I made hardly any of the things on it. So yeah, clearly Make 9 is not the way to go for me and making my sewing plans and commitments. So I was wondering, like, maybe this, like I haven't sewn it because I don't, like it's not my colours or something, like it's not going to fit in my wardrobe. So, you know, obviously it's quite different from this kind of rainbow concoction that I'm wearing right now, but I think actually it will work really well like with my colouring and also with my wardrobe. So I think it's going to go really nicely with my Danny pants. So if you've watched some of my previous vlogs, I love the Danny pants. I've done a lot of work in fitting them, so I'll put a card up to that. But yeah, I think that's gonna be really cute outfit. And obviously because it's got the dark colours in, I think it will work into winter as well. I'll be able to layer it up with a, you know, a darker jacket or cardigan. So yeah, I think that's gonna be really nice. So yeah, I just need to cut into it now. So let me know in the comments if you've got any top tips for working with silk. I'm gonna use like a Microtex, like a really fine, sharp needle, and I'm gonna put in a new one in my machine just to make sure. And yeah, I'll do a test on a little scrap before I get started to make sure we've got, you know, the tension and everything right. But I think it's probably just one of those things that I've really overblown it in my mind, and it's actually not going to be that bad. Like I've sewn loads with viscose. I made a dress out of viscose satin that went really well. So yeah, I think it's going to be fine. I think I just need to pull my finger out and actually do it. So that's the great thing about having challenges in the sewing community. Like often we've already got these plans, we've got the fabrics, like yeah, we've got the fabrics, we've got the plan in mind even, we just haven't got round to it yet because there's always new stuff and new ideas coming in. So I think having a challenge with a deadline is just that push that you need to actually do it. So yeah, I've got the buttons for this already. Yeah, so stay tuned and I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll hopefully finally, after almost 4 years, I'll have a really gorgeous shirt in my wardrobe. Fingers crossed for me. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this fabric and my plan. I'm sure there's going to be precious fabrics with a lot more exciting backstory than this one. It's just silk and I've just had it for a long time, so thought this challenge was the perfect opportunity to get sewing. But yeah, I'm really excited to hear what everyone else has got hidden in their stashes. Really, really exciting. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe and say hi in the comments. It will be lovely to see who's enjoyed this. I don't post on a particularly regular schedule. I just really struggle to fit YouTube in around working on Stash Hub and doing loads of other stuff. So yeah, if you are interested in seeing my future videos, do tap on the bell so you'll get a notification whenever my next video comes out, because who knows when that's going to be. And yeah, good luck with your precious sewing project. And yeah, do make sure you've watched Whitney's intro video. Also, I'm going to be having a chat with Whitney on Stash Chat, which is my sort of YouTube live podcast where I talk to people about their sewing journeys and their stashes. So that's a really good insight into the lives of our favourite sewists in the community, and I'm sure we're going to discuss this challenge as well. So I'll put a link to the recording of that interview in the description as well. So yeah, happy sewing everyone. Good luck with your precious projects. I can't wait to see them. I think the output for this challenge is going to be insane because every single fabric is like a special one. So every dress or garment or whatever gets made is going to be special because of the fabric. So I'm really excited to hear all the stories and see all the incredible things that are going to be made. Yeah, it's awesome. So happy sewing everyone, and I'll see you around. Bye.